Great discovery is ultimately about asking great questions. One of the problems I see a lot of salespeople making is that they try and overcomplicate the questions they ask. The questions they ask become too over-engineered. They confuse prospects. They seem too loaded in how they're asked, and they're just trying to kind of get prospects to give them the answer that they're looking for, and that can ultimately put off a lot of prospects. Some of the most effective questions we ask are some of the most simple ones, and I've talked about this before. Both in videos, but also in articles that I've published, in that some of the most effective questions that we ask is just simply asking the prospect to elaborate and tell us more, and that's often when we find some of the most insightful answers. So here's an example of I want to share an example of one of my sales reps, asking a prospect to just simply tell us more. And what they get back is a huge wealth of insight, considerably more than what they would have received if they hadn't asked this question. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly find examples of where a salesperson has said the phrase "tell me more" in their sales call. So I'm just going to quickly search for this phrase, and then just top of the list there, we've found an example of a call that contains the phrase "tell me more." So if I just jump into that call, go to the moment of this call where that phrase has been mentioned. I'm just going to play this portion of the call so you can listen to the salesperson asking the prospect to tell me more, and then you can listen to how the prospect responds.
In the mindset of AI, but really I knew that what you needed was this.
Okay, this is interesting. Okay.
Tell me more about why it's interesting. I want to have a deeper understanding.
Well, again, my goal is to complement, to some extent, the consultant having to have to spend an hour a month with the coachee, if you will, to go over what's happened. These are great reminders that we could maybe substitute. Maybe instead of having 6, 8, 9 meetings, whether it's face-to-face or virtual, we might be able to cut those meetings down to, say, maybe 4 or 5, and substitute the other meetings with these kinds of reminders.
Really interesting what happened there. The prospect used the emotive nugget, which I've talked about before, of saying, "This is interesting." And rather than just simply kind of skip past that and go on to the next part of the conversation, the salesperson simply asked, "Tell me more about why you find this interesting. Can you tell me more about that?" What happened was the prospect revealed basically a compelling reason and business case about why this is going to be helpful for them, why it's going to save them so much more time, and ultimately did a lot of the selling on the salesperson's behalf. So stop trying to overcomplicate questions. Just simply ask prospects to tell me more, and it's amazing what will be revealed.